Hello, my beautiful sisters. So, another beautiful day in the Red Tan Goddess online temple area. And today we are sitting in a Scorpio full moon, and we have all yummy things to do. Two things that you will need. One is oil. So, whether it's coconut oil, castor oil, pick some type of oil. You could do lotion, but I'd prefer oil because hashtag chemicals. And then the other option is the other thing to get is your red tent journal or a journal, if you're new to this, that you shall now be calling your red tent journal. Put at the very top date, Scorpio full moon, and then also go ahead and save some space, have a pen ready, and we'll have a little bit of fun in right now. You can starting with what the astrology is for the next few days slash weeks. Mel, the floor is yours.
Oh, hello everyone. I feel like it's been forever since I've really connected with you all, and I'm really just super stoked to be in the space with everybody, and I missed you all. So happy full moon in Scorpio, ladies. I will post this later on Mighty Networks. But all right, so this full moon is already full of a lot of emotion. It's super emotion based with the mysterious sign of Scorpio. Um, part Pair it with an eclipse and Mercury retrograde. We're all going through the things, so don't worry, it's not just you. We're all going through it. Scorpio is a sign for sex and mystery and emotions, and often super misunderstood. So all of these feelings may be coming up to the forefront. It may be very chaotic, but super transformational and healing as well. Eclipses are known for their chaos, up and down and all around energy. As part of the moon is covered and then revealed again. And it's literally the earth being caught in between the moon and the sun. So it's really a symbolism for balance and trying to find the balance between what's going on with the two. It also is like an upheaval. Major transformations happen during eclipse season, and it's a lot. But it's a great time to also reflect on what has and hasn't been working for you over the past few months. Keep in mind what comes up for you during this time around attachments, intimate connections, finances, because the sun is opposing in Taurus. So Taurus is very finance based, materialistic. These things are likely to come up again and probably have been coming up for you since November of last year when this eclipse axis started. So time to hold space for authenticity, not just for others, but for yourself. Get really real with yourself and don't be afraid to do so, as Scorpio can also be a sign of great transformation, as I mentioned earlier. And I scrolled down too far and I lost my place. Oh no. Goodness. All right, here we are. Excuse me. Sun in Taurus is also sextiling with Mars and Neptune. Some luck around taking action on self-confidence, physical activities, very you-oriented things, and really focused around finding your sense of self. Go ahead and put yourself out there or try that new project again. You may see that things work out in your favor this time, and feelings of ambition may come up towards tackling that project or thing that you have been feeling really called to do. Mars is also conjuncting Neptune. So this blended aspect amplifies unique energy around putting yourself out there. Think outside the box and be assertive with things that you want. Also more excitement around concepts such as spiritual things, metaphysical, things that you typically may not have noticed before or may have had an interest in. And I put in bold caps, allow yourself to go down the rabbit hole. If you're really feeling oh, I really want to check out that crazy conspiracy theory people are talking about, now is definitely a good time to support that and a good time to do it. We may also have feelings of feeling trapped or stuck in just kind of mundane, everyday, day-to-day life or in our own spirituality. Journal it out, dig deep, find out why these feelings are coming up, because that'll also really support you. The moon is trining Mars, so this also brings up more of the confident sense of self and the assertiveness, more comfort around being able to express ourselves, to speak up for our really deep wants and needs. The sun is squaring off with Saturn as well, so this can cause a bit of friction with your ego and authority. Word of warning, if you have any trauma or issues around parental figures, your boss, any type of like authoritative male masculine energy, this may come up for you. So like traumas around, if you have dad trauma, speaking from experience, if you have dad trauma, this may come up for you right now. Don't be alarmed. You'll get through it. But, and this is really an opportunity to take a look at it through a new lens of maturity and love, and really understanding why we're choosing now to kind of evaluate this sense of self. It can also give us clarity on these things. So just kind of be mindful of that, because it may come up. Again, in huge bolded caps, Mercury retrograde. I know this has already come up, and I know a lot of you are feeling this one, myself included, but Mercury being the planet of communication in the sign of Gemini, which is also the sign of communication, this is really going to remind us to communicate effectively. Look at things from a place of love and evaluate if we're responding from that heart-centered place or if we're just being reactive. Meditate on your words if you have to make a decision, and try to make sure that you're not just attacking people. I cannot express self-care enough right now. Seriously, take care of yourself. Work, being a mom, all the things that you do for everybody else. Take a minute, breathe. Breathe, take a bath, do something for yourself. Something unselfishly. Don't feel guilty. Just go and do that one thing. Get out of your house if you haven't been out in a while. And I am experiencing this like huge freedom with working outside of the house now. So I like, go do something for you alone if you have to. It really gives you a lot of clarity. Have compassion with yourself for the things that are coming up and all the hectic energy that is around right now. I love you, ladies. Thank you for having me. I am complete.
You just explained my week like in 5 minutes. I wish we should
I feel
really
like I
start,
explained everybody's
like,
everything right now.
just oh my god. You
I
just
get
broke
it.
it
I get
down.
it.
Like you put it in bullet points there. So is it possible? You can say no to this, but is it possible to grab what you just said and give it to us like a week in advance so we can be prepared for the next?
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. If you guys need like a week to week play by play of what's going on in the
Oh
planets, I can totally
no,
do that.
that
I
sounds
can post it
amazing.
on, yeah, I can post it on Mighty Networks, and
Oh
we'll
yes.
do the things.
Oh, you just made my heart better.
Membership exclusive week to week play by play to keep us
Oh
all prepped
snap.
for life.
That's next level. I like it.
uh, uh.
Ah.
I love it. I love it.
All right,
Yeah,
girls,
totally.
Red
I
10
could
has just
totally
been
do that.
upgraded. Yeah, and we can also, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what we can do with that. There's this little good yumminess. So hopefully you girls got a lot out of that. I wrote down a lot of notes of things and I'm like, oh, that explains that. Oh, that's what happened. So that was very interesting. Thank you. All right. So we have a sister that has been with us for a few months, but she hasn't shared her gifts yet. And recently, I've gotten to learn about her gifts, and she recently signed up to even become a womb healer or a womb shaman. And I'm really excited for her future journey. And she is with the Scorpio full moon energy, which is very focused on blood, death, and sex. Today, we're particularly focusing on the sex, yummy part, and a little bit on the blood and death, but mainly on the sex part today, so we can have a little bit of pleasure in our life, and especially with the energy that Melanie just explained. So perfect timing. So I'm gonna have her do a little introduction of herself and ask you girls a question on how you would like to move forward with this next 10 to 15 minutes that she beautifully has.
Hi, everybody. I am Kim, and I'm super excited to be with everybody. So I signed up for Red Tent a few months back, like Jaslyn said, and then basically have done nothing except for like the extra meetings and seminars and things that have gone on, sort of the special events, but I haven't really just been, in the month to month, week to week. I've been doing some traveling and things. So it's funny, this week I actually connected with Claudia for our coffee chat and had a similar conversation. And then I did Jaslyn's womb healing introduction. And basically what I do is I've been studying Tantra for the last couple years. And I'm sort of moving into a practitioner role. And so this is actually my first time speaking and sort of teaching about it a little bit. And so this is kind of nerve-wracking and a lot of bit exciting. And so thank you for giving me the space for that. A lot of the things that Melanie was talking about, all of this chaos and upheaval and the need for self-care actually blends so beautifully with the practice that I wanted to share with you all today, which is a self-love practice. And so we're going to do a little bit of a lead into it. I want to talk a little bit about what Tantra is, very tiny little pieces, and then, or at least what it means to me for this go around, since we have 10 or 15 minutes. And then we'll talk some more, and I'm actually working with Claudia to put together a masterclass for the future. And so I'm happy to share that. And also, I'll say, I haven't spoken to Jaslyn, but I did talk to Claudia. I'm offering for the sisterhood, I'm looking for some practice clients. And so if anybody is interested in receiving a session from me, I'm doing that in like an energy exchange. So if anybody wants to offer your gift back to me in return for receiving what I have to offer, that's how I'd love to offer these practice sessions. So, oh, and here's Claudia coming in too.
You brought her into existence into the group.
And so that's a little bit about me. And so I kind of wanted to talk a little bit what Tantra means for me. And the cat's coming in to say hi as well. Hi, buddy. So Tantra is all about coming into presence. And the way that we do that is with breath, sound, and movement. And so we're going to use those three things tonight in this self-love practice. As you're in your spaces and settling in, I'd love to offer or invite that you find a place where you can be alone. So if you can shut a door or move into another room for this practice. So because it's self-love and our heart chakra is in our chest, we're going to be doing a breast massage, a self-breast massage. Part of that, I want to ask the group what your comfort level is. I can demo either with my clothes on, or I can demo taking my top off, which would be my preference to really show you exactly what it can look and feel like to offer yourself this loving practice. So I'd love to see either raise your hand in the chat box or raise your actual hand if you're comfortable with that, or if you're not comfortable, you can say no. We just want to make sure everyone is 100% comfortable in their space.
And I also, I'm going to say that I will be pressing pause during this practice. So if you feel like taking off your clothes, it's totally possible too. We're all safe in sisterhood. Okay. But I'll let you explain what's happening. And if anybody wants to reach out to you, then this is a perfect opportunity because it'll be paused. Like, I wanted to do the breast massage, and they can call you.
Yeah. And so I really invite you, if you have a comfort level, or even if it feels a little bit edgy, again, as Melanie said, this is the time to jump in, even if it's a bit scary, but to take your clothes off and touch your breasts in a loving way and be embraced by the sisterhood, exactly who you are. Love yourself in all of your glory and everything that you are, and share that with the world and share that with us. And we're here to receive and hold you in that too. So I do invite you, and you have a few minutes to think about it, because I'm going to talk about a couple of things. And then I'm going to have us do a quick grounding meditation to really drop into our bodies and into where we are right now. And then we can kind of go into the practice. Did someone else just jump on? No? Okay. Things are shifting on my screen. So Tantra is about presence. It's about breath, sound, and movement. It's about energy. So you have a positive and a negative pole, and everybody has them. And when you can create a circuit of energy, you can give and receive that energy. And so in this practice, we're going to create the circuit with ourselves, with our own bodies. So if you imagine that your hands are two cables, and if you rub them together like this, we can create some energy. So with the friction, when you start to pull your hands apart, see if you can start to feel that energy coming. And you can actually expand it and make it greater and larger, and channel your love from your heart chakra straight through those two cables. And now turn those hands towards yourself, and you can give that love to yourself, and there the cat's licking my screen, and there you can give yourself that love and finish the energy circuit. So see if you can just feel that and be with that for a moment. Through this practice, I'm going to invite you to breathe from your belly all the way from your sacral chakra up, filling your full belly up and letting out some sound. Every time you sound, you're stimulating your vagus nerve, and that's helping you come into your body, into yourself, to really receive the love that you are transmitting through your two hands. Now, does anybody have any questions right now before we sort of move into the practice? I'm not talking too much because we don't have a lot of time. I'm already seeing some more peaceful, calm faces just from taking that one moment to send yourself a moment of love. I think that's wonderful. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a meditation. This is going to be a yang meditation, so it's going to be active. But if you can, try to plant your 2 feet firmly on the ground so you can really feel the ground beneath you. Get really comfortable in your chair, kind of get down on your sits bones. And we're going to take a big, deep breath. And then what we're going to do, so just watch for a moment. So because this is an internal meditation and it is yang meditation. So you're going to take your pointer fingers, you're going to cover your eyes. You're going to take your thumbs and you're going to cover your ears. So you really want to plug your ears. This is actually like a sensory deprivation is what we're doing.
If we have headphones on.
If you have headphones
Options?
on, yep. But right now the idea, I would say no for the headphones for this moment,
Okay.
if possible, because what we're going to do is we're going to plug our ears, plug our eyes, the middle finger comes to the nostrils, and the bottom 2 fingers cover the lips. And once we begin, we're going to be doing all of that, and then you're going to hum. Your lips are going to be parted just a little bit, and you're going to go, huh. And it'll sound like 1,000 bees buzzing in your head. And the idea is that we're really able to go internal with and be with ourselves while also grounding down. So you're going to imagine yourself grounding down as you're doing this meditation, and we're going to do it for about a minute. So we're just going to take a big, deep belly breath. We're going to breathe out with sound while we're closing down the rest of our senses, so we can really feel our bodies and our minds can have the opportunity to go clear and blank, and we can kind of let go of the day, let go of the week, let go of the lunar eclipse chaos, and really just be here present in this moment in consciousness with ourselves. Does that make sense? Are the directions clear? All right. Okay, so
Can
Yeah.
we double check how to do this thing with the thing? Can we do it again?
so you're going to start with your thumbs and you're going to put it over your ears so that you can push that little nub. You're going to push that in so you can close your ears. Your pointers are going to close your eyes. Your middle finger closes your nose. The bottom two fingers, ring and pinky, come around, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to start to push in with everything, and then I'm going to breathe out. So I'm going to breathe in to start. So that's what it looks like. So go at your own pace with a big, deep belly breath, and then breathing out with sound. And if you've got the tone right, it sounds like bees buzzing in your head. I don't know if anybody can hear me, but I'm going to invite you back into the space. I know when I do it, I can't hear anything, so I just waited. Great. So I'm feeling more grounded. I love to be able to make sound, and that really helps me calm myself and really drop into my body. So from here, I'm going to invite you to take your oil. I have some delicious coconut oil myself. And basically what we're going to do, I'm going to guide you as we're moving through.
Should I pause it right now or later?
I can give a little quick explanation so that if somebody wants to do it on the replay, and then we can pause it and I'll kind of explain as we go as well.
Go ahead.
But what you want to do, so our breasts are really, they're protruding out into the universe. This is how we penetrate the world. So they do a lot of work for us. Our heart chakra is how the feminine moves through and is moving outward into the world. So we carry a lot of energy in our breasts. It's where a lot of our love is, and we often don't give it enough love back. And so what we're going to do is spend a couple of minutes on each breast. It feels really good to massage almost into your armpit where all of the muscles and the tendons connect, holding your breast up all the way through the bottom. You're basically going to spend 3 to 4 minutes on each breast and just giving it all the love to the nipple, to the breastbone in between, to your neck, everything that connects. And we're just going to keep sending all this love. And we're going to start by building that energy in between our fingers. We're going to create some chi, some energy, some love energy. We're going to turn it back to ourselves. And then just spend a few minutes. As Melanie said, we don't often give ourselves enough love, self-care, attention. So this is a beautiful practice to just spend 5 or 10 minutes with yourself. This is great to do in the morning. This is great to do after self-pleasure. This is great to do in the shower. This is great to do in the bathtub. Basically, anytime you want, you always have your love available to support you, and you can always give it back to yourself. You don't always have to give it to someone else. So we can kind of move into this practice, really thinking about that. I just want to check in if there's any questions before we turn off the recording. Okay, so you can go ahead and turn the recording.
The breast massage is complete, and now we're in sharing time. So thank you, Kim. That was absolutely outstanding, and it was very yummy to connect to ourselves and connect to each other during that time period. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's my energy.
And I'd love to invite 1 or 2 of the voices of the sisters into the room and hear how that was for you, and if anything came up or how you felt.
Whenever I was doing the practice, especially with the music that was playing in the background, I started coming into a conversation with my breasts, asking them what they wanted. And so it wanted massaged under the armpit, which just never gets massaged. So I started massaging there. And then as I'm going across my chest, and I'm doing like this kind of like a hugging type of feeling to them, they asked if they could just be held because they are kind of heavy. And so I just held them and took all the weight off of my chest of them. And there was like this sigh of relief, and almost like they were little girls going, yay, we don't have to hold them up anymore. And it was nice. It was refreshing. And so to give that love back felt awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to share?
Yeah, I definitely felt that. I was holding too, and then I felt like to keep going down across my belly and womb. So I continued to love through there.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Jaslyn. Thank you for giving me this space, and I turn it back to you.
Thank you. And I'm definitely bringing you back on in the future. Just if you want it, it's yours. Let me know.
You got it.
All right. That was awesome. All right, sisters, moving on to the next portion of our little circle here. It's journal question time. Dun, 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 dun. So pens and pencils, journal red tents out. Get that little piece of papel out where you'll be writing on. Make sure to write the date and Scorpio full moon minimally up there so that you can always come back if you want to look at a calendar, an astrological calendar, and see what else is going on today in particular or recently. You definitely can, but it definitely helps to write things down. So let me look for you really quickly. Today is also a moon trine in Venus, a moon squared Mars, and a moon squared Neptune, which is very specific to today. And then Mars conjunct Neptune is day 1 out of 3 today, which should be a fun one from what I'm looking at. So we'll definitely continue to talk more about that, but you girls know that astrologically it's important to know what's happening. All right, next thing to be aware of is that I'm going to give you 3 questions, one right after the other, with barely any time to write anything down because I don't want to give you time to write things down or to think it through. Okay. It's just going to be just one word, maximum like 3, maybe 4 words is what is expected of your answer. And I don't want you to think about it. I don't want you to get your higher self into the equation. I want you to truly just blank. Okay. And then write it down and no judgments on this. Okay. I'm sure you've heard this one before. Life is blank. Life is blank. No judgments. All right, next one. Death is blank. Next one. Blood is blank. And the last one, sex is blank. All right, this is where you girls put up your pens. Next question. How is your sex life going? Now, this could be with others, this could be with yourself, but how is your sex life going in general? Now, this one you can write out a little longer. And I even have a song to put on for this one. So Kim, I'm going to take you off. Too loud or just good? All right, cool. So take in for a moment this song and then we'll have 2 more questions.
Oh, what a day.
This is not the song.
Glorious.
Funny, here's the song.
I wrote this song after a night of pleasure and passion under a full moon in Tahiti.
Decoy activation, passion fruit stimulation, a sweetness and a sourness, a stickiness, a resonance, crunchy and shiny. You can bite me where my heart lives.
All right, now that you get an idea of what this song is, I'm going to give you the next question. And this song, I want you to take this question. I want you to take your time writing. I'm going to put it in the chat because it might take a minute and we can listen to the song and enjoy while we write it. All right, so the next question is, what do other forms of sexual pleasure provide for you? So we just talked about what does sex provide for you. Now, some examples of what could have been written is sex provides connection, a form of love, a form of connecting to oneness with somebody else. It could be something specific to you, right? Connection to yourself, some self-love, some self-confidence in yourself, right? Now, these forms, I'm asking you to look at what do other forms of sexual pleasure provide for you, such as masturbation with yourself. What does that provide for you? See if it's the exact same thing as what sex provides for you with other people or by yourself. What does that provide? Maybe foreplay provides new things. We just did a breast massage. So what did that provide for you, right? When you just play with your clit, nothing else. When you give yourself a yoni massage where you just put a finger up there and move it around, but not particularly for orgasm, but for joy and for pleasure. So these are different things that I want you to check up on and see, what does this provide anything different than what I wrote down for sex? And you might see similarities, might be check mark, check mark, check mark, or it could be, ooh, this one provides a new sense of pleasure for me. So go ahead and look and see what it'll do for you. And I'll put back on the song so we can enjoy. And then you girls let me know in the chat I'm complete or whatever it is, and we'll move on to the last question.
Yeah. And kiss me on my lips. Kiss me on my lips. Yeah. And in gentle, unconditional love. Beauty beyond the magic of blood. Interwoven DNA, moon wisdom. Floating across the breeze. My beloved, rest well. I'll kiss you in my dream. My heart is opened again. My heart is opened again. Yeah, my heart is opened again. My heart is opened again. My heart is opened again. Yeah, my heart is opened again. Billy Boy activation. Passion fruit stimulation. A sweetness and a sourness, a stickiness, a resonance. Crunchy and shiny. You can bite me where my heart lives. Yeah. Kiss me on my lips. Kiss me on my lips. Yeah. Kiss me on my lips. Kiss me on my lips. Yeah. Kiss me on my lips. Kiss me on my lips.
All right, how we doing? Good? It's okay if you don't go through the entire list. We still have a sharing circle, so you could still go through the things. All right, so the next question is, how can I add more sexual pleasure into my life? Now, this could be maybe you add more orgasms, more foreplay, more romantic books, more movies, more lingerie underneath your clothing, maybe moments of looking into the mirror and just giving yourself a little touch. Now that Kim showed us a breast massage, you can add that into your shower routine, whatever that may look like for you. How can I add more sexual pleasure into my life? And feel free to also write why. Maybe why should I add more sexual pleasure in my life? This is something I truly want to do. Alrighty. How we doing, girls? All right. And the last thing that I want you to think about, I don't know who has partners and who doesn't, but if you do have a partner, there's a reason I use the word provide. And providing is one of those words that the masculine, this is a feminine group, so most of us tend to be either trying to work in the feminine or want to be in the feminine, but the masculine in all of us likes the word provide and connects to the word provide. And in particular, male energy will also listen to the word provide and want to serve that, want to support that. So feel free. You can actually, if you'd like to, share this with your sexual partner and tell them what sex provides, what masturbation provides, what foreplay provides. And they're going to want to give that to you even more. Like, wait a minute, it provides this much for you? Like, this is what it does? Like, oh my God, like, what are we waiting for? Like, pants off. So I just wanted to add a little more beautiful sex and beautiful masturbation practices and breast massage practices into your life with the Scorpio full moon. So just putting that as like a little silver. And while we continue, if anybody needs to go through any more of these questions, this is what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the night, where we get to talk about all kinds of different subjects. You can decide. You can decide to talk about how the breast massage went for you. You can talk about some of the questions and what you wrote down. And it is actually extremely supportive, because maybe somebody else gets a completely different way of providing or gets from masturbation or foreplay or sex, and being able to hear it from somebody else might be like, oh my God, how come I haven't seen it like that? Oh my God, like that's amazing. Like I want to see it like that too. And it'll give us new perspectives to be able to enjoy from each other and grow with each other. Okay. You feel free, if you'd like to at this time, to share any sexual experiences, like, oh, I just remember this one time that I got this and this. It's a moment to laugh and have a good time with each other. And if cries get to happen, then cries get to happen as well. Okay. And the last thing I'll mention is, maybe you don't want to talk about sex. Like, I'm done with sex for the night. It's not over for the full moon event. I just want to be clear. We still have a little more to go. And if you want to just talk about maybe your week and how that went, or what celebrations you like to share, or anything else, you can definitely do that. This is a sharing circle of sisters, and there's no judgment. Like, talk about whatever you want, and we're good here. And to the point that we're talking about sex and taking off our shirts. Okay, so I will open up the space, and feel free to keep journaling, sharing, and this, for the rest of the hour, is for us. We could talk about anything and everything we want. There's very few of us tonight, which is amazing. Normally we have 10, 20 people. So we can go twice. We can, like, all right, we're good. We're going to stop the recording early, and we're just going to chat and about anything and everything. So the rest of the night is totally up to you girls. Anyone like to share?
I'll go ahead. I so I was laughing in the beginning when you were asking the questions, because you said to write down the first thing that came to mind. So I wrote, life is like a box of chocolates. Death is inevitable. What was the other one? Oh, blood is thicker than water. And then sex is delicious. And I'm just laughing at the first stuff that pops up in my head when you say these things. And so it was definitely a fun exercise. And when I started writing down everything, when it comes to, I like that you had the different categories of sex, because sex is not always about, the penetration and the heated part. Because when I think of sex, I thought of love, connected, enchanting, exciting, fun, juicy, fire, inspiration. But then as I go through the other ones, they're so similar to it, yet these slight adjustments, just a little bit. Like foreplay is more care, love, and tenderness, and still has the connection and the juiciness and all of that. Where masturbation has meditation and mindfulness in it. And also my own personal electricity, because I know when I'm masturbating, no one else's energy is involved in it. This is all me, all my creation, and I get to just play in that space. And then yoni massage. I taught my partner how to give yoni massage, because this was essential for him to be able to date me. We're now engaged, so he's good at it. And it's really, when I get a yoni massage, it's this space. I never have an orgasm with a yoni massage. It's never this sexually pleasurable thing. It's a time for my divine feminine to be able to finally relax and put herself in the hands of the masculine completely, and just totally relax and let go, and see if any kind of healing that needs to happen comes up for me. And then yab yum, whenever we're sitting Indian style facing each other, me kind of on his lap, that one is the ultimate. It's like, it's beyond sexual. It's fireworks, it's healing. It's like there's just this constant rotation of energy between us when we're in this position. And so, I never really broke it down like that. So breaking it down like that really made me appreciate all of those different ways of doing it. and enjoying pleasure. And then when it came to the part of like how I can't remember the question, how it can improve or whatever, and my libido, hence why I'm really working on myself even deeper now, where my libido is kind of going because I'm 43. My kids, even though I'm still young, my kids have grown and have left the nest and are making me a grandmother again and again and again. I've got 4 of them, and it's almost like it kind of pushes you a little further in that direction, mentally and energetically. So I'm feeling that I really want to work in that space, because being a tantra practitioner, of course, I'm always working on myself, but it's like the plumber, he's always got the leaky pipes at home. It takes a little extra work sometimes. And then noticing when stress is even a factor with it. I love being out in nature, out in the woods, we go camping, but when I'm home, I feel myself go into this like the masculine work mode, okay, now we must be regimented, got to pay the bills and got to do the errands and got to do the work, and it's hard to really strip off all of that unless I am out in the middle of nature and camping and completely forget about this whole man-made up world that we live in. And it's a great space to be in, but noticing when I start to get in that space, and that's me creating the space, not somebody else. So yeah, it was great questions. And I loved how much it kind of made me dive in such a short period of time. And that having the breast massage before that with all of the love created inside of me, just kind of had it playing out so perfectly. So thank you for that.
Don't you yet. I actually want you to share a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself a little bit. But first, let me say hi, Trish. How are you? Glad of you to join. Thank you for joining. So we already did our journal questions for the night. So I went ahead and put them on the chat so that you can kind of redo them if necessary and kind of be a part of the conversation. I think you'll really enjoy them, you of all people. And I'll mention the first 4 questions is life is blank. I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to write of whatever comes up in your head. Okay. And trust yourself. Okay, cool. Cassandra, can you come back and introduce yourself to the sisters?
Yes, I am Cassandra Hope. I live in West Palm Beach. I'm a tantra facilitator, tantra practitioner, whatever you want to call it. I call myself something different almost every time I introduce myself. Sacred sexuality coach, shamanism, all that kind of stuff all wrapped up into one. And I have been sober for 8 years and practicing tantra for 6.5 of those 8 years. And it's a really wonderful place to be in when a lot of the reason why you used to drink is because of sex, because of sexual trauma, because of sexual shaming. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness in a cult. So in Jehovah's Witness, it's all the stuff you're hearing about the evangelical Christian churches talking about abortion. I was raised in that. Those are the kind of men I was around, just not so angry sounding. And so coming from that into a sexually abusive relationship, the father of my children actually was their predator. It's like my whole first 34 years of my life has been wrapped in this sexual trauma, either with myself or my own children. And I have 3 daughters. So, so to come into Tantra, it was a healing that was beyond sexual pleasure. This was not at all about sexual pleasure, which I finally realized is a thing with Tantra, but it became more about just the amazing miracle that our body is and its ability to heal itself and tell on itself too, and how it can call out for help when we're really channeled in and able to listen to it. So the last thing that I've listened to, well, not the last thing, but as I've gone through 6.5 years of tantric healing and 8 years of get your shit straight healing, coming into healing my relationship with the feminine is one of, I believe, my last biggest healings because of my relationship with my mother and so on. But with 3 daughters and 4 granddaughters, I must heal my relationships with women, so that way I can pass that on through my lineage. So that's me in a nutshell. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. That was awesome.
I have to Yeah, I have to unmute for a second because I'm like, I feel all of the things with you. So I'm also 8 years sober. I have 2 girls. I'm 30, almost 35. So I feel it. I feel all things, the get your shit together moments. I feel it all. You are in such a good space. And like
Oh,
Jehovah's Witness, we have Allie, who's
I was
also
gonna
out of the
say,
religion and also healing sexuality. And like, so
yeah.
if Allie and I made a love child, I love it. I'm so excited that you're here because you definitely relate to all of us on a lot of points. And I really think you're in a good space. And we definitely hold you in that space. We've all come from different backgrounds and all the things. Like, I'm not even from Florida, I'm Canadian. So yeah, I'm just really excited to have you here. I'm pumped. Like, that's awesome. Welcome.
Yeah. Mel, you weren't there for the introduction, but Cassandra signed up for the womb shaman certification program. So I know you're thinking about coming.
Woof, woof.
Just
Yeah,
saying. Just
let's
saying,
do
girl.
it.
That'd be really cool. And yeah, so as Melanie mentioned, we actually have a sister that is from Jehovah Witness, and she got out 2 years ago, and she left 2 years ago herself, and like a month after she joined us. So we've been with her throughout the entire process of like releasing all that, and it's just been so wonderful to like be there for her and see her evolution and change, and like she learned about the goddess and spirituality. It's amazing. So I would love, I'll if like next person that talks, I'll maybe connect you to if you're okay with it. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah. And you're the third person this year. Well, with Ali, you, and then I have another person that she's become a really good friend of mine who also was a Jehovah. I'm like, what is happening right now? So cool. It's just like meet you girls and hear the differences. So thank you for your share. Very awesome. All Schreitisch, her growth, yes. Natalia, can I bug you to go next? Because you also are new, and I'd love for you to
Yeah.
introduce yourself a little bit more too. And yeah.
Sure, I'm Natalia. I'm 28 and I live in Boca, South Florida. Yeah. I've been a massage therapist for 7 years. I've seen Cassandra several times for tantra massage, and I love that. That totally transformed me on my healing journey for sure, and my views on sex and pleasure. I'm a mommy. I have a 6-year-old son named Forrest, and I've been attending women's circles probably for the last 5 years with the new moon and full moon gatherings. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me today. I'm going to go ahead and mute now.
It is a pleasure. I was hoping you hear a little bit about any of your journal prompts that you maybe had
Sure.
too.
One second.
Take your time.
So for the one word entries, I wrote life is beautiful. It's kind of a mix. I wrote life is beautiful, blessed, hard, and uncomfortable. Death is heavy and I miss you. My dad recently passed away in February from alcohol abuse, so I'm feeling that heaviness from the death for sure. Blood is sacred, divine. Sex is magic and yummy. And my sex life now, it's daily. It's with someone that has been my partner kind of on and off, like an unstable relationship since August. I'm definitely giving more than receiving, and I'd like to receive more and explore Tantra practices with him. I wish it was more passionate and spiritual. Let me see here what else I wrote. I wrote that with masturbation, it's like almost more pleasurable for me sometimes because I know that there's like guaranteed completion. And it's like a very big energy release for me. Like I'm able to go to sleep afterwards. And I'm definitely going to add the breast massage into what I would like to add for more sexual pleasure for myself. I really enjoyed that, and I think that'd be nice to do in the shower and after masturbating. And I definitely want to incorporate toys and outfits more, and also do more sensual massages in my work for my pleasure too. Yeah. Thank you, ladies. Love you all. This is wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here and for playing full out. So, no, if I may, Natalia, we're recording. But I don't think you're gonna mind. This is her first red tent with us, at least, and she was like, "Well, we did a practice. We're like, anybody want to take their shirts off? You can." And she was like, "Woo!" very quickly. So that was really awesome to see and experience. And like,
What I love
I
about
love
you,
to
girl.
do it.
I'm very open. I'm open to also being a volunteer for you, Kim, to do energy exchange
Yay.
massages. I'm down.
Go free to exchange numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say, because both of you are brand new to the free online Red Tent Temple space, this is part of the technically paid membership. And it's $27.99. You've experienced per month, you've experienced a small portion of it. And every full moon, it's different. We connect to different zodiac signs for each new moon and full moon. We bring in, if one of you girls want to do some kind of practice, kind of like what Kim did, you can do that. Any gift that you have is welcomed. There's master classes that we also do from time to time, and we're adding in movie nights and all kinds of other practices. And we're super open. Like Connie did a trial run and seeing if who would be interested in a book club. And we had people doing a trial run for Daughters of the Red Tent. So this space is extremely open and it's very sisterhood based. It's not about like I'm one of the two co-founders and the other person does the new moon events. And we say that we are founders, we are not the leaders. Each one of us, every single one of us, it can be a leader if we decide to be in this sisterhood. So just wanted to put that out there. And if you're interested, you know how to reach me. Alrighty. Anybody else want to take a minute to share? Andrea, can I bug you? I love calling you out because you always say yes.
Sure, because I'm realizing sometimes I do need that push sometimes. I'll go quickly over the prompts, but then there was something I wanted to chat about with the tantric stuff. Prompts: life is easy, death is pain, blood is messy, sex is taboo. So a little bit darker than I would have thought would have came out of me, but you know, that's the magic of Scorpio too. I actually got a Kim. I'm interested in the tantric massage. Actually, are you in South Florida? Because I'm in Orlando, so I'd probably have to make that trip.
I'm in Boca Raton, but I also have some sisters that I just did a Dakini training with, who are up closer to you and who are also looking for practice clients. So I can see, you can reach out to me and I put my number in the chat and I can see if anyone in that area is looking as well. I don't know what they're like doing in terms of exchange or anything, but I'm happy to connect you as well. And you're welcome to come to Boca.
Sounds good. I need to get down there. I've always been interested in tantra and sexuality, and just kind of more recently really starting to dive in and learn it myself with different things. But I actually experienced a massage earlier this year, and it kind of just I try to walk into things with no expectations, but I kind of just walked out of it I don't know how I feel. And the massage was good. The practitioner, the guy was welcoming. There was an issue with that. But when you had said Cassandra, like that you never orgasm from a yoni massage. Like I remember lying there when he's giving that to me, and I felt numb. And I felt like there was like I'm a very sexual person, kinky person. Like that's that kind of thing I thought would turn me on, and I felt myself kind of on the edge of kind of having an orgasm. But then I also kind of thought I don't want to give that to him. He doesn't, I don't know him, he doesn't deserve that. But then I'm also like kind of battling myself, forget him. It's not about him, it's about me. But then, then the moment was kind of lost. But yeah, that kind of stuck with me that he's got his fingers in me and I don't feel it. So that's been kind of through my head, and Jaslyn, I know you have this womb healing class, and I feel called to that, and I need to explore, and I feel like there's I just need to explore. And then actually I had a channeled reading earlier this week actually, and guides were just telling me continue that and continue with like pelvic floor and everything. So I feel like that's this next actual rabbit hole I need to go down. So to end, it was good to hear that you had that comment, Cassandra, because that was stuck in my head. Why am I thinking this? Why am I feeling it? And I'm glad that I brought it up because it's something that's probably more common. So thank you.
Andrea, did you just want to share or did you want some feedback?
I'll take the feedback, yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to open it up to the floor for the two tantric women. And Trish, I'm thinking for you too, if anything, if you have anything to add.
I would like to comment when I was talking about getting a yoni massage and not having an orgasm. I do feel pleasure, but it's not a space where that's my intention with it. If you're receiving a yoni massage and you're feeling numbness, there's numbness, pain, or pleasure. That's a great space to be able to work with that. We hold so much emotion in all the muscles of the vaginal canal. So where you're feeling numbness or you're feeling pain, I don't know if you've ever had a trigger point therapy with massage, but what they'll do is you have the knot right there, you find the knot and you press on it and you give it about 30 seconds and you just kind of let it massage away. So inside the yoni, as you're doing this and pressing on these places where you either feel numbness or pain and giving gentle massage as you, as the yoni holder, allow yourself to breathe that tantric breath, giving it the sound, giving it that vibration. And as you're doing this, letting the emotions come up, because those are emotions that are stuck in there. You may feel like you want to cry. You may feel like you want to get angry. You may want to just like growl. So whenever I'm getting a yoni massage and I'm feeling any kind of numbness or pain, I will tell my fiance, I'll be like, oh, hold it there for a minute. And he'll just give some pressure. And it could just be stress from last month that I never really dealt with, or it could be something even deeper than that. And I just let myself just like, and let it all come out. And then I know for myself and a lot of people that I've seen that when you kind of come around to this, like you're, we're crying and you're like, you're laughing like a crazy person. That's kind of when the healing has begun and then you're starting to release that space. So I just wanted to kind of put it out there where when I did mention that, it's not that it's normal to not have an orgasm, but it's more my intention to not have an orgasm and let that be a space of healing for my yoni.
But good info, thank you.
Alrighty, either any extra comments or the next person that would like to speak about anything sex related or not. Opening the space.
I just want to add is it Andrea or Andrea? Andrea?
Currently, but I've gone by everything. So I'm not particular.
I'm sorry, it didn't go through. What did you say?
Currently Andrea.
Andrea, thank you. Just also that I've heard from a number of women that it can also be very confusing when you're entering into tantric sessions for the first time, and especially, you know, male practitioners, and it's confusing with sexuality versus healing, and all of that can kind of get a little just confusing. And like Cassandra said, like knowing sort of what your intentions are going in really makes a big difference in, you know, how you feel, and really giving yourself sort of a clear intention. And so I just want to say that it's really common to have that sort of confused line coming up, and that it's totally normal, and that, you know, I mean, Cassandra said it so beautifully how she explained her intention, and the healing space that those sessions can be. So I definitely just wanted to honor your feelings and just say that it's, you know, completely normal, and that's something that I'd be happy to, you know, talk more with you about, or Cassandra as well, I'm sure would love to.
Thank you.
I just want to add that I love the collaboration that's being created with, we have all kinds of practitioners, like we have like 8 Reiki practitioners, and they all collaborate in the sisterhood. There's no competition between us. Like whoever you want to go to for certain reasons, go for it. So thank you for continuing that practice within the sisterhood and creating that safe space for all of us. And thank you, Andrea, for asking and being vulnerable. It's appreciated. Connie, I know that you were here for the journal questions, so can I bug you to see if you have anything you'd like to share? And no is also an answer.
My journal question. I didn't write down I just wrote down my answers. And so one was life, right? Amazing, hard, and amazing. Death, freeing, and heart shattering. Blood is life. Sex is a connection. So
Thanks.
yeah, this has been really, I don't know. I don't know what the word is. Eye-opening, I guess, for me.
In what ways, if I may ask?
There's some sexual healing that needs to be done. And I guess this is the time to start working on it. So
I know you're signing up for the womb shaman training. Oh, so we're gonna have all kinds of healing going on for all of us. And I'm hoping, honestly, that Kim and Cassandra might come on a little bit and I also want to let you girls know that in the training, I'm also open for it to be a training for me from time to time. So like, I think this will be really supportive to mention here. Can I do a little practice? It's a yes, always. Okay, just creating that little space. It's a training for all of us at the end of the day. So I think it'll be amazing to connect Connie deeper. Thank you. All right, Mel, I don't know if you're back from taking care of your kids.
I am and I'm not.
Okay.
So we have ants in my house. So I'm currently creating a spray of a blend of oils and water to naturally get rid of my ants, just so that they kind of scurry away. So life, I will say that I put, what did I put? Hold on. I will run to my desk and look what I put.
We could give you a few more minutes.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay.
No, if I wasn't ready, I would say that I wasn't.
Okay, cool.
All right. Life is beautiful and an adventure. Death is an energetic release and reset. Blood is connection. Sex is also a connection and intimate. Yeah, and it's interesting actually for myself that I didn't always have those feelings around it because I'm a survivor of sexual trauma, and I say, but not a lot of people know. Excuse me, but I am, and I didn't always feel that way. So it's cool to actually look at it on paper and be like, hey, I did that. I made that progress. I healed that shit. So I'm pretty excited in this moment to be able to write that and to have that. So yeah, thanks for bringing that to my awareness.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for playing along.
Yeah, I always play along. It's so fun.
All right, thank you. All right, I think I'm officially going to go, and then whoever would like to bring up anything else will be open. So for life, I put life is life. I think that sums it up quite well for me. Death is decomposition, which I'm a gardener, which that means I understand that it's a part of the process. Blood is sacred. I do blood magic all day, every day, especially with my menstrual blood. And I put sex as oneness. Sex provides so much for me. And I've actually done this practice with my husband. So it's been nice, like where I did this because I knew the Scorpio full moon was coming. So I actually wrote down like sex provides blank for me, and then I had him do the same thing. And then like we talked about it, and obviously we had sex after this conversation. And it was amazing to be able to know what it provides for each other, and also the different roles. This is why I did this personally with him, and I was like, this gets to be shared with the sisterhood, and they get to have hopefully a somewhat similar experience as I did, whether that means by themselves or with their partner. So I had a lot of fun. I noticed for masturbation was much more play to me, like a fun time for me to do. And sometimes I have a yoga ball. So having a little fun here, I have a yoga ball. And while I'm working, and if I'm getting like stressed out at work, I'll kind of like move on the yoga ball, and it'll activate my clit a little bit. And so I'll keep going. And sometimes I'll allow myself to orgasm, sometimes I won't. But it's just fun to be like, oh yeah, that's the spot right there. And it's I feel like I'm scratching a little itch, and it's a little fun. And then also be able to feel like my enlarged clit happening while I work. And then I'm like, oh, I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Let me calm down or finish. This is a moment to make a decision here, Jasmine. So those are always fun times. Foreplay, one of the big words for me was romantic and caring. And I noticed that for like, there's all people, my sister's like super into BDSM, and for her, foreplay means pay. So I don't know about that. That's not my world. But for me, it's romantic. So for me, it's candles out, aromatherapy is out, bath bomb beforehand. And I would say even preparation and this is one of the big things that we learned about me is I realized that I like surprise sex, but I also really like in the morning, like, hey, so tonight we're gonna have a little fun, or yeah, okay, cool. That gives me time throughout the day to prepare and to visualize. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait for nighttime. And it gives the day a new meaning to me. And it also allows me to I'm going to do my hair. I'm going to shave all over. I'm going to fit a face mask on beforehand and get myself into a feminine state so that sex can be even more enjoyable. So I learned now that he knows that, he's like, we're putting on the calendar. So that was a fun little experiment that we get to play with. And yeah, so I am a fertility awareness. I do fertility awareness method. I don't do birth control. We use condoms when the time it's necessary, and we're like, please put it in me. But we practice during ovulation time period to do 69s, blowjobs, going down on each other, yoni massages, and we really want each other. And at the same time, we practice other ways during those 2 to 4 days. And I'm very good with knowing my schedule and my body temperature. And he knows okay, let me go in there. We're good. Let's go. So he knows the drill. And so 69s is a sacred time period for me because it's normally when I'm ovulating and I really, really want it. And so we save that. So for me, it's extra pleasurable now for those time periods to play in that certain way. And yeah, how can I add more sexual pleasure into my life? I just told you girls that we're gonna start putting it into the calendar as well as having surprise dates so that I can have a little bit of fun on both ends of the spectrum. So that's what I got. Yay. I really enjoyed the breast massage. Definitely. As soon as you said, like, you can do that in a shower, I'm like, why haven't I done this in a shower? I had this whole, like, wait a minute. I was thinking, like, this thing. Like, oh, that's perfect and easy to do. So I'm excited for that. And sure, I'm good. That's my share. Who's next?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
So I'm kind of like in a heavy place right now. And so life is challenging, death is final, blood is life, and sex is hard. That's where I landed. So I think, everything that Melanie said in the beginning about the chaos, and it's just been like real. And so I've sort of been going through a little crunchy phase with my boyfriend, and we keep trying to get out of it and keep trying to like clear it off, and it just keeps like like snowballing. And I'm like, please stop. So chaos is real right now. But we had a wonderful ritual this afternoon that really, I got to release some energy, and that really helped. I think so. I'm like somewhere between like blissed out and exhausted from like the energy and emotional release that happened like an hour before this call. So I'm just trying to clear the cobwebs of like this thing that's been happening. Adding more sexual pleasure into my life. So I thought I was getting really good at this. And then, it's sort of a new phase for me to be engaging. When I first started doing Tantra and really coming into what I called my great thaw, which was when I like decided to quit my corporate job and like flip the script on everything. Yeah, it was a huge celebration, amazing. And I did it all like, it was like in the middle of COVID. And like, so Tantra for me was like on my couch in sisterhood circle, learning these things and going like, oh my God, this is how I connect to femininity, my inner feminine that has been like really quite dormant for a while. And I've really developed that masculine side in the corporate world. And so then I kind of melted into sisterhood, and now I have a boyfriend and he moved in with me in the last several months. And so it's like this whole new evolution and all the chaos and trying to figure out, what is that evolution of healing and how can I, opposite of Cassandra, I sort of have been working in the feminine and the sisterhood wounds, and now I'm like, oh, all my masculine wounds are all up. So that's why sex has been hard and it's been challenging, and I thought I was like, I'm so free now, and I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. Just trigger. And so I'm just trying to move through all that stuckness. And so Melanie's star report didn't sound really great for the moment, but it'll pass and we'll come through it. And that feels good. And I know that. So that's sort of where I'm at. And I don't know if that answers the question, but I guess that's what I wanted to talk about.
No questions. Open share.
Right.
So thank you.
That's where I'm at.
One thing I kind of want to add to that, it's funny because I know that everybody listened to me in my astrology and went, oh, and the thing is with that, it's the knowledge, having that knowledge, taking a look at it and being like, all right, this is what I can work on. But it's also an understanding that, it's not just you. So kind of holding yourself in that space of, it's not just you, it's not your fault. You are worthy of these feelings and they're coming up for a reason. And acknowledging that in that space, I find is really helpful, at least from my perspective. So I want to kind of give you that a little bit to hopefully help you in any discomfort, because there is discomfort right now for everybody. It's like I said, it's not just you, and you're definitely allowed to feel the feelings, and allowing yourself to feel those feelings and taking that time for yourself to feel those things and acknowledge them is also really important.
100%. Thank you.
Kim came early to the call. You actually came like 30 minutes early, so like you had this experience and then you got on with me. That's like so I've
And
had
he
an
went to have
experience.
beer at the bar. I was like,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, I'm doing a girl thing. I'm not available for the next 3 hours.
There you go. Well, so I've had a very interesting experience these last few days, and today's the first day in months that I have been in my pajamas all day, which is, if you've seen, this is my pajama shirt. So I put on a shawl over, like, and I told that to Kim. I'm like, I'm not even going to change for this thing. I'm going to be in pajamas today. Like, I've never done this for a full moon event. I always change. I'm not doing it today. Like, so thank you. And yeah, I definitely felt the shift and understanding that life's happening, triggers are happening. And one of the big things that I really appreciate, Kim, especially because this is your first time on a call and sharing your gift with us, is that you shared your gift and then you shared your vulnerability in the same call. And I've noticed it, like how women, when it's their first time coming in, maybe they'll wait to share vulnerability and they'll share their masterpiece, right? And just that in itself shows how much work you've done and how a lot of women aren't there yet. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. Very awesome to see all sides of you.
Thank you. I'm pretty adept at showing my mess. So more to come.
Can't wait. Can't wait. We'll I have a little sweeper. We'll put it together with everybody else's. Alrighty. Anyone left? Who we got?
I'll go.
Hi, Trish.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I bummed I missed the you, Kim. I'll have to rewatch the beginning to experience that. I'm excited to do that. Yeah. So wow, I quickly just did the 4 words, and I'm a little shocked. So I said, life is awesome, death is inevitable, blood is dark, and sex is work.
You said that?
That's
what?
I know.
Can we
I know.
unpack that a little bit? I'm gonna unpack
literally,
this
that's
a
the
little
one
bit.
I read all 4 of them like a bunch of times, and I'm like, I couldn't come up with the other ones, but on the sex one, it automatically came out. So I get to unpack that. Me too, being very, being sexually molested when I was young. I thought sex was love. I did a master class on healing trauma, and I had talked about doing, I did some, I was the dominatrix for a year or a couple of years with this gentleman, and that really helped me in my healing sexuality, in my healing journey. But I have not had a sexual partner for years, and I'm very sexual, yet I don't take the time to masturbate. I don't take, it's like I'm trying to make a conscious effort. It's like I'll put on a little video or a YouTube thing that I'll listen to occasionally. I'll take a bath maybe once a month and do it in there, but not on a consistent basis. And in the past, when I've done it, it's like I go right to the bean and that's it. I pleasure myself, just get the orgasm and then it's done. So after the tantra, or the thing we did in November, I'm trying to, in the shower, and just take more time touching myself all over, touching my breasts, even though they're both been, cut. I have the phantom touch on my breasts, because of my breast cancer. So yeah, it's, yeah. I'm looking back at the questions. I've masturbated. Actually, was I masturbated ever since I was 6, and so it became where I would masturbate. And my room was right next to my parents, and so I had to masturbate and be very quiet. So, doing the breathing, doing the deep breath work when I'm orgasming, so I have a full body. I can have body orgasms, like when I'm doing a meditation, and if I'm doing that kind of meditation and breath work, I can have an orgasm. So it's just spending more time touching myself in not the sexual areas, you know. I mean, it's just me, just enjoying touching myself. You know, it's funny because it's not funny. It's actually sad because my love language is touch, yet I don't even touch myself. You know, it's yeah. You know, and they say, you know, the hug, you need a hug. I don't even hug myself, you know, and so it's yeah, good check-ins for me. So thank you for this. Yeah. Yeah. So just wanting to honor more and spending more time releasing myself, as Andrea said earlier about that release and the anxiety, and just it releases that pressure, and the one I love your Jaslyn, or the oneness connection of that, because that was a beautiful way of explaining it. So yeah, just spend more time going into that. But yeah, sex is work. I get to unpack that. So yippee for me.
I love that. Trish, I don't think you were here for my astrology because you came in a little late. And one thing that I mentioned is really taking the time. Take the time right now to spend with yourself, do something for yourself, and be with yourself, because it's so important. The world is kind of chaotic at the moment with planetary stuff. And I did post it on Mighty Networks if you want to read it. But yeah, take the time. You need the time. Obviously, you need the time. Like, do it for you, because I love your healing journey, and you're obviously one of my friggin' favorite people. I love you so much. And I love to see you heal in every way, shape, or form. So I'm excited to see what you unpack with that. And I love you. Take some time. Do it.
I guess having, being a single mom and always having to be on and not having my house to myself. So I've had to keep it quiet, and the time. And yeah, so I get to. Yeah. Thank you. I'm complete.
You have an empty house now, right?
Yeah, but I was just called today, and he's asking me to host another exchange student for 3 months before I move. So we'll see what happens today. So who knows?
Okay. So you're moving in 3 months down to Florida?
August, September, Ellie and I.
You guys are doing it together?
That's so exciting. Way. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
Okay,
what? That's so exciting.
We're moving. Yeah, we're gonna move in together. It's gonna help us both with the move and moving in, the finances, all of it. I know.
How perfect is life?
I know. There's no coincidences. We were both going at the same time and same area, and so. Yeah, so it's just working through all of that too, all the feels, everything I do with my kids is like near the end, my dad, so it's just been a lot. Been a lot, yeah. But beautiful, just beautiful. It's just, I get to just enjoy all the little nuances. My dad's 90 and he was washing his crippled hands for like 5 minutes under the water as I was pampering him. And it was just so beautiful to watch him, so just really taking in that time. Yeah. I love you all.
No, we love you too. Very cool. I did not know you girls were coming down together, and it's just beautiful to witness all of us. Alrighty. Lisette, I don't know if you're here or just enjoying our energy.
I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have my camera on. I just got back from work and it's been a grueling day, and my clothes were driving me crazy. I had to switch on to pajamas because I couldn't deal with one more minute of my clothes. It was that it's been a hell of a day. So okay. Yeah. Melanie's like, yes, Lisette skin. Yeah. Well,
I
I
love
have
it.
I have weird pajamas. My pajamas are a little skimpy. Yup. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Um
amazing. Happy to hear.
let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna tackle these questions. So life is hard, death is inevitable, so I'll go with that. Blood is life, and sex is uh hmm, um non-existent right now. I don't know how, I guess that's probably the best way to phrase it. How is your sex life going? Well, it's non-existent. It's kind of my fault. I'm overwhelmed. I'm a little tired. I have a lot on my mind, and I haven't made the time for it like I should, and I'm fully guilty of it. I fully admit it. It's all about me, and it has nothing to do with my partner. It has to do with me. He's incredibly patient, and I think he's too patient, and I need to do something about it. And it's funny that you asked these questions because I was thinking about this last night. I really was. Right before I went to bed, I was thinking about like what can I do to change that? So yeah, that was on my mind. What does sex provide for you? Connection. Connection. That's really important. Very deep connection. At least for me, that's yeah, that's number one. And what forms of sexual pleasure, what do other forms of sexual pleasure provide for you? Um, I'm gonna be honest. I don't enjoy masturbation. I really don't. It's just for me, it's just not I guess the reason why I don't enjoy it for myself is maybe because for me sex is very equal to connection and love. Like there's that, there's that component. And yes, it's not that I don't love myself, but it's just I don't know, for some reason maybe there's something there. Maybe I have a block that I'm not aware of. I don't know what it is, but it's not for me, it's never been pleasurable. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's never been pleasurable. I've had moments where it has been, but I guess I don't have the patience for it. Maybe that's what it is. Like, I don't have the patience for it to really get into it, to really like, okay, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a night to myself. Like, I fully know that I should do it, but it's never been something I have prioritized for myself. I guess that's the most honest response. um and then if I'm gonna say with me and a partner, it would definitely be touching my nipples. My breasts are very sensitive, so I would say that that's a definite. And missionary is my favorite position, to be honest. It's always been. um Even when I've tried other positions, I will always go back to missionary, and it's basically because I love looking into his eyes. I love that the idea of him hugging me and me looking into his eyes. I'm very romantic in that way, and so that for me is important. um and how can I add more sexual pleasure into my life? Well, I need to prioritize it. I think I need to make time for it. I need to make it important. I think that's, I don't know what else to do. Yeah, I think I need to make it as important as other things in my life are. And maybe schedule it, maybe talk about it, maybe like make a date, like say, okay, today's the day. Because what happens is I come home, I'm tired, or I'm and it's just we're off. Like when he has energy, I don't, and when I have energy, he's asleep. So I guess that's something I have to work around. So yeah. Melanie's like, hooray, sex day. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off, but I really need to pull that off. I have to do that.
Boundaries. That's how you pull that off. Boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries with your other life and life things.
Yeah.
I know that things are a bit hectic for you and work and stuff like that, but like other coaching and clients and whatever, take time. Take that
Mhm.
time, prioritize yourself.
It's
I
true.
cannot
Yeah.
stress this enough.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. That's something I have such a hard time doing that because I always think everything's important. And so I drop everything I'm doing to take care of what I think is important, but then I don't give my, things that are about me importance. And you're right, it's all about boundaries. So thank you for bringing this to my awareness, because it's kind of like now that I'm reading the questions and I'm saying it, and it's like I'm realizing, I'm having a big aha moment here. I'm like, okay. That's what I haven't done. I haven't set down boundaries. It's like my life is just one big like work and do this and do that. And I don't have a lot of me time, but or us time, I guess you could say, me time and us time. Um and I need that. So you're right.
Do
You're
you
right.
have date
Thank you.
nights?
It's funny. I used to have date nights. I haven't had date nights in a very long time. Ever since this lovely pandemic has come along, I don't know what a date night is anymore. I mean, it's
Well,
because it's been so crazy, and so busy and so like so much stuff going on at the same time that it's, you know, yeah.
maybe a date hour?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Something that would make Rick amazingly happy, funny enough, like amazingly happy, is if I would play a video game with him. That would thrill him because I do like to play video games, but I never have time. Or I never make the time. Let's put it that way. I'm always busy. And so he just got recently for his PlayStation, he got Skyrim, which is my favorite game. I
I
love,
also
love,
have
love Skyrim.
Skyrim.
I also have Skyrim too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my favorite
Yes.
game. And he looked at me and he's like,
We
I've
playing
got it.
Skyrim?
He's like, I got it for the PlayStation. Don't you want to make your own character?
Aw.
And I just looked at him and
I
I'm like,
love that coaxing.
yeah, and I was about to say yeah, and then I got hit with I gotta train because I have this virtual training I gotta get through, and I was like, oh no, I gotta train. And he's like, okay, well, it'll be here when you're done training. And it's just, it's one of those moments where you just kind of stay like, I resent the fact that I have to train. I want to play now. I just want to enjoy myself, so yeah, that would be a great date night or date time, because that would make him happier than any restaurant on the planet, or going anywhere, because that's what he loves to do. And he loves that, like, let's play a game together. Let me help you make your own character. Let's do this, that gives him pleasure. He's very cerebral, so he loves that. Like, that's his thing. And it's funny because it's my thing too. It's not like it's a sacrifice or anything. I love it. It's just that I don't prioritize it. And I don't prioritize fun time. And that's what
Is he a Taurus rising or Taurus moon?
No, he's a Taurus rising. And
That's
so
what
am
I
I.
thought.
And so am I. I'm
Yeah,
a Taurus
that's what
rising too.
so I'm like, feed him, tell him he's pretty, and
Tell
then
him
play
he's
some
pretty.
video games with him, because those will make him so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. That
I
would make him
I will
happy.
add that I have a PlayStation and an Xbox. So what's your friend?
I think
Send me
it's
a friend
cross.
request.
I think it's crossplay. So
Send me a
I have
friend
an
request.
Xbox.
We'll be there. Okay, so
Xbox, let's go.
we have Una Minuto. One thing I want to add to that, Lisette, is after the questions, you and Trish, because both of you came later. So I also added in a little soul work for you girls to do. Now that you girls talked about like what sex, masturbation, all these different things provides for you, then you can also share this with your partner if you have a partner that you can share with. And and sharing that, what you can also open up the floor to them sharing with you what it provides for them. and then being able to open like, oh my God, I want to provide that for you. Like, this is a lot more than just an orgasm, and being able to see that and experience that can mean so much for you, for both of you. And that's something that Yusuf and I experienced, and it was incredible to be able to be like, oh, like this isn't just about some intimate moment or some pleasurable moment. This provides so much for both of us. Like, let's give this to each other as a gift, right? So I just wanted to open up that little exercise of using the word providing when you mention it. And then
thank you. That's awesome.
yeah, definitely. So it's officially 9 p.m., but hopefully before we go, because we also had to start a little later. So I'm hoping that we can just take a minute to talk about a womb shaman certification program that I'm going to be starting in 10 days from now. Some of you have officially jumped in and are really excited, and some of you have not, and that is totally okay. I only want people that are going to be like all into this, or want to add this into their coaching practice, and are aware that this is going to be lots of womb healing work for yourself, as well as for any clients that you get in the future. And I just want to open up the floor on checking in, like if maybe some people that have signed up already, why did you sign up? And then for the ones that haven't and may have questions, you can also ask some questions about that. And you guys, I can send the replay again if necessary, and anything else. So just wanted to check in with you girls on that. Anybody share like a little like why I joined?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay, go ahead.
So I joined because, number one, from the moment I heard Jocelyn talk about womb healing, I was intrigued. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And I didn't know that much about it until I started digging deeper. And I was like, oh, I really want to do this. I mean, I'm already a Reiki master. I'm already a coach. I do trauma therapy. I just felt like this was the missing puzzle, like the missing piece of the puzzle, so to speak. Like, yes, everything begins in the womb. You create in the womb, and trauma hides in the womb, and healing should be done in the womb. And so it's like, it was perfect. I thought to myself, wow, if I can learn to heal my womb and heal other women, help other women heal their womb, and this would be incredible. Like, this would be definitely something definitely worth doing. And I gotta say, anything that Jocelyn teaches is worth it, because Jocelyn's amazing. So not because she's listening, not because she's there, but it's the truth. Like, I'm not lying here. So she, the moment she said womb certification, I'm like, yeah, I don't have to think about it twice. This is definitely something I want to do. So I say that anybody that listens to this replay, or anybody that's here, do yourself a favor, sign up for this program, because you're not going to get a better womb teacher than Jocelyn. Like, she's about as dedicated to this as anybody I know. So yeah, do yourself a favor, do this. This is incredible. This is an incredible opportunity, like, for real. It really is.
And the cheapest opportunity that there will ever be. Find that out there too.
Yeah, and that too. Yes. So yeah, do it. And that's all I can say is do it. Do it for yourself, and do it for the women around you, and do it from, do it for Mother Earth. Do it for Gaia, who needs healing. And look at Gaia as the cosmic womb, the womb of the planet. So, like, do it for all these reasons and more. Anyway, sorry, I could just go on and on, so I'll be quiet.
No, you're so cute. There will definitely be Mother Earth healing. There will definitely be, I'm not using the word sexual trauma healing for this practice, but there will be some of that, especially for ourselves that are in the group. And I'll teach you mini versions of that throughout it. A lot of sexual trauma, a lot of people ask me about this. This is why I'm bringing this up, because they think womb and trauma. So yes, and emotions, and bottled up emotions, and memories, and ancestry, and past lives, and PCOS, fibroids, endometriosis, menstrual cycle irregularities, infertility, miscarriages, abortions, stillborns, all the things. Friends and families going through stuff that might also show up in your womb, past lovers, all the things. So all of that will be talked about in general, and we'll go through almost like a lot of my work, like pretty much what I would do for somebody in a year, I'm going to give to you girls in 9-10 weeks. And I say 9 to 10 because it's a 9-week program, but I'm doing a bonus week for anybody that wants, like, I'm creating a manual. And this is taking a lot of time. I'm already on week, I started week 2 today, and I still have to go back to week 1 and like add extra stuff. And I have URL links, and I have summaries, and I have book quotes, and I've got my own practices and all kinds of things that I'm going to put in there. It'll be its own book. Like, I could probably make it into a book by the end of this. And thank you. And the reason I'm doing that week 10 is I'll be going through that manual fully and getting you girls like, okay, so like you how to Google infertility in here and figure out what you need and all that jazz, and how to support the person that you're going to be supporting and all that jazz. That is my homework assignment for myself. Definitely signing myself up for a lot here. And I'm happy to do it because it's something that's been on my project for a while. So anyone that has not, I'd like the cutoff day, it's Tuesday, I'd like the cutoff day to be this Friday. So I have a week to officially like assign people and tell people amazing stuff. So please let me know if you need a little more time or anything else. And the replay is there. There's payment plans in a 5-month period. I will mention that it's weekly, but it's going to be bi-weekly because #time for me. Time for you to do the practices in between and talk to your support sisters. And it's the first time I'm creating this, so give me some time. And I think it'll be super worth your time, my time, and lots of energy healing, womb healing for us, ancestors, future selves, and children, Mother Earth, cosmic womb healing, all the things. Like, I'm pretty excited about it. And I'm definitely putting a lot of work into it. So I'm complete. Any questions or concerns on anything before we head out? Or last minute, like, I must share this or I might explode moments? All right, we're looking good. I'm complete and off to work. All right. I love you girls. Thank you so much for staying a little longer and for coming to this beautiful full moon. And I hope you got a lot out of it. I would love it because I think we had a little less people show up to this one than normal. And I think one of the reasons is because I actually mentioned the word sex is going to be talked about. So feel free to open up in the sisterhood chat in the Signal group or even on Mighty Networks, like, oh my God, we talked about this. And if you're open and want to be vulnerable and share, I think it would be very supportive for others to hear a little bit of what we did today and open up that floor and let them know, like, people did come, people did experience a lot. And next time that we have a sex talk, you should definitely come. See if we can get more sisters open. All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just that for the new moon at Claudia's house, I'm going to be doing a longer practice, tantric practice in person. So at the gathering ahead of time at Claudia's house. So if anybody's around and wants to play some more and do some more practices, we'll be having some fun.
That's amazing. I love it. And I cannot wait until we can open up red tents in all kinds of states. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right, ladies, good night. It was nice to have you. And I'll see you the next one. The next one is on the 31st. And it's going to be a new moon. I think it's also on sexual energy or something. Or Speaker Truth. Is it Speaker Truth, Melanie? You just put it up. So I'm asked. Oh, she's on her way to work. Gemini. Yes, it's about Speaker Truth. So it should be a very interesting one. And I know that Claudia is putting a lot of energy into that. So 31st, and the new moon is officially at the end of the month, not in the beginning. It has switched on us. It's going to be amazing. Yes. All right, replay girls. Goodbye.